warm welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is your favorite show, Daily Calls, a show that answers all your stock-related queries on this program. Over the next 45 minutes, we will address every question that you have about the stocks in your portfolio. Those are, of course, coming onto your fresh radar as well. And we will also try to decipher for you fresh strategies on the markets with our top guests who will be joining in. In case you're here for the first time, the WhatsApp number is flashing on your screens. Send me your questions here along with your name, location and your contact details. We can also give you an opportunity to speak live to our top guests and take a custom-made advice as well. So definitely drop in your details too. You can also log on to our YouTube channel, Business Today. Go on to Daily Calls Live. Use the comment section to send me your questions. I'll be happy to address all of that with our top guests for you as well. Let me quickly look at how the markets are shaping up in trade. While we are holding up, 25,650 odd have slipped below the 25,700 mark. So we have more or less given up about 50% of the gains that we had clocked in the morning trading session. Some of the sectors that continue to reel under pressure are IT. Now you have metals, real estate, media stocks, even oil and gas and the Nifty Bank that is creating some pressure on the overall mood in the markets. But PSU banks are up and about, autos are higher, FMCG is higher, small caps and pharma stocks are also doing well at this point in time. Of course, select stocks and several sectors that are still on the move. But let's actually go on to welcome our guest on board. We have Nilesh Jain joining in on our show. He is the head of Vice President Technical Derivatives Research at Centrum Broking with us. A warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for taking the time out, Nilesh. Good to have you as always. First up, a quick comment on the markets as we start off this fresh week with a lot of global as well as domestic cues. How are you strategizing your strategies? Because we are also going to be inching closer to the monthly expiry now this week itself. So how would you strategize?
Very good afternoon, Sakshi. Absolutely. So we are into the expiry week. That too, monthly of an expiry for the Nifty, Bank X, Sensex across all major indices will be having a monthly of an expiry. So on the back of that, we expect market to remain volatile. First of all, there are multiple triggers that are driving the markets. If you see on the geopolitical front, the concern is still persists, so we have to be cautious at the high level, and that's what we have seen today as well. The market opened on a gap up note, but soon after that we have seen a sharp profit taking. Nifty right now is witnessing a selling pressure at resistance at its 50 DMN to 100 DMA. So that's acting as a major barrier as of now. So looking at the overall setup, we expect Nifty to oscillate in the broader range of 25,500 to 25,800. That's the 300-point expiry range for the Nifty. And if at all you get any dip towards 25,600 to 25,550, that might get bought into, and we may see some buying interest getting emerged near support zone. And similarly, having said that, if you see any pullback more towards 25,750, 25,800, that's the resistance zone, and from there we might see some bit of profit taking as well. Now coming to the Bank Nifty. Similar kind of a profit taking we have seen in the Bank Nifty as well, but good part is that it is still trading above 61,000 mark. So that's important support to watch out for. And this market is likely to remain volatile for this week on the back of a monthly open expiry. So the focus should be on sectors and stocks rather than on index.
Okay, got that. Let me quick start by taking some questions now. Nilesh, we have a lot of our viewers who are joining in early on the show. So let's welcome all of them. We have Ankur, Srinivas, we have Venkatesh joining in, Nitin also joining in early on our YouTube. Welcome to everybody. Let's take the first question from Rishikesh. He says, good afternoon, Sakshi. I want to know about Grasim. I am sitting on a 5% loss. What is the outlook on Grasim that I can expect? Okay, no timeline shared here as to what is the horizon, long term or short term or medium term, but 5% losses currently. Do you see, anything on the charts that would indicate a recovery going forward?
Well, actually, the major structure, no doubt, is on a positive side, but the counter recently formed a double top pattern at 2980, 3000 zone. So that level is still acting as a major barrier. But as of now, we have seen some bit of correction from the highs. We are witnessing profit taking. On a positive side, if you see, the good part is that it is still trading well above its long-term 200-day moving average, which is placed at 27,780 levels. 2,780 levels. So 2780 should be the stop loss first of all. and stay put in the long position. Do not average for the time being, and we may see a gradual up on the back of pullback towards 2900 to 2950 going forward. So it is important to break the 3000 mark on the upside. Then probably we can expect a major breakout, and then probably target would be somewhere around 3300 to 3500. But for that, you need to wait for some more time to witness that particular breakout. But stay put in your current position.
Okay, got that. Let me also take another question. This one is from Raghu. Raghu says, I hold BEL shares in my portfolio at 445. I can hold for a year. What will be the target and stop loss that I can expect?
Very good structure, continuous uptrend we have seen in this particular counter. So stay invested in this particular counter. Keep a stop loss at 415, and next 6 to 8 months kind of time frame. If you see the target that comes around 470, 480, and next 1 year plus kind of time frame, I think this stock has the potential to cross 500 level as well. But it may take some time. Keep a tight stop loss at 415 and stay put.
Okay. Next, we have a question from Ankur Modi. Says, hi Sakshi, hope you're doing great. I'm very well, Ankur. Good to see you here, and I hope the same for you as well. The question he has is on Sagility India and on Anant Raj as well. These two stocks at the current levels, does it make for a fresh buy? Long-term investing is what he has, and he would want to know from you what's your view. Currently, Sagility 1% down at 44.3, and we're also looking at Anant Raj on a sideways category right now. How would you look at it?
Right. First of all, Sagility, it's an avoid count has given a breakdown below 48 level. And given this kind of a structure, looks like it is heading towards 42 and 40 level on the lower side. So it's an avoid taking any contraband for the time being. Till time it doesn't cross above 47 mark, that's the 200-day moving average. So till then, sell on rise kind of a structure. So avoid taking any long position. Coming to Anantraj, comparatively better structure because we have already seen a decent correction. The stock has formed a good base formation in the zone of 470, 480. So we may see a gradual uptick towards 600 to 650 on the high side. So can be added at current level, but keep a tight stop loss below 515 and a pullback move towards 580, 600 can be seen.
Fair point. Let's take the next question. This one is from one of our viewers again. This is Sai, and he wants to know about which sector will outperform and what is Nilesh sir's view this year, and any key stock ideas that he can also suggest from that sector itself. So first up, he's requested you, Nilesh, that if you can talk about any sector that you believe can outperform this year in 2026, and if you could also suggest any key stocks from that sector.
Right, Sakshi. So first of all, the focus is currently right now in the banking space, specifically PSU banks, where we have seen a lot of good momentum. It is trading at all-time high. I still feel that there is still some more momentum left, and we can expect further uptick to continue. So PSU bank is something that we are liking as of now. And within that space, counters like Bank of India, PNB, in fact, across all PSU banks, we have seen a very strong momentum. Bank of India will be our preferred bet within that particular pack. And 200 plus kind of positional levels can be seen. One can keep a stop loss below 158, and buy and decline should be the strategy in Bank of India. Not only that, Indian Bank is also another counter that is also looking positive for 1020, 1050 plus kind of levels on the upside. One can keep a stop loss below 940 and go long in Indian Bank as well. Apart from that, AMC space is another pocket that we are also keeping an eye on. Aditya Birla AMC, ICICI AMC, and also HDFC AMC. So watch out for AMC space as well. That is also looking strong.
Okay. Next, we have this question from Srinivas. He says, hi Sakshi, I want to buy any good mid-cap stock. For the mid-term, is there any mid-cap one or two stocks that Nilesh sir can suggest? Okay, within the mid-cap space, first up, Nilesh, when we, all through 2025 as a calendar year, there was a larger consensus on betting big on large caps, and that's how the theme played out. But as we've entered into 2026 in the second month now, we are gradually seeing some pickup happen in both mid and small caps. Have you also started to scout any mid-cap names for your clients?
Right, Sakshi. So first of all, if you see the Nifty mid-cap index, where we have seen some bit of attraction coming back, comparatively small cap index is still looking weak. But yes, mid-cap, we have seen this particular index has taken support at its 200-day moving average. but looks more sort of a sideways now from a short to medium term perspective. Yes, from a longer term perspective, one can look for mid cap, but as of now, looking at the market volatility due to the weakness in the global market and lot of geopolitical tension, so markets are likely to remain volatile. And mid cap, as of now, is still not that providing that kind of a comfort we are getting in the large cap. So primarily the focus should be on the large cap. But yes, mid cap specifically from a longer term perspective, one can look to add at current level. And within that space, a couple of stocks just want to highlight. First of all, CCL product, this particular counter is showing strength, looks positive, but purely near term call, short to medium term call. In fact, I would say for upside target of 1100 plus, one can keep a stop loss below 990. Apart from that, M Sumi is another stock that is also looking positive, purely a pullback play. For upside target of 48 to 50, one can keep a stop loss, a tight stop loss at 41. And lastly, Polycap is something that one should look for. And this particular counter is looking strong. We have seen a fresh breakout coming in and look strong for 8300 to 8500 on the upside. One can keep a stop loss below 7700 and go long in Polycap as well.
Okay. Taking the next question now. This one is from Ramu from Hyderabad. He says, hello, Nilesh sir. I want to know about Avanti Feeds. Should I sell and book my profit right now? What is your view? So we do know that a lot of these stocks that had started to run up on the back of the positive US India trade deal, there is a rethinking now because there's a lot of changes on a day to day basis on the announcements on the tariffs now. First, there was a US Supreme Court order on calling the tariffs illegal. Then Donald Trump moved up his own initial global 10% tariffs to 15%, and therefore there is some uncertainty that the entire space is facing. So, but those who are still sitting on profits, is it better to pull out the profits?
Absolutely, Sakshi. So there are two ways to look at it. First of all, if somebody has bought it purely from a trading perspective, I think this is a good time to book out the profit and sit on sideline for a couple of reasons. Number one, it has already witnessed a strong move. Already, a strong rally has already been seen. In this February month itself, it has rallied close to 70%. So 70% gain in a month is a very good return. If somebody is getting a good profit, then book out the profit. Another reason we have already seen these kind of stocks, Avanti Feed, Apex Frozen, are trading in the extremely over territory. So from a risk and reward perspective as well, not advisable, and keep booking profit at the high level. Now, from a longer term perspective, somebody has bought into this particular counter. I think there's still potential on the upside towards 1500 to 1600. That's 1 year plus kind of time frame. But provided one should ready to witness some bit of correction as well, because there are high possibility that stock might retrace towards 1200 to 1150 as well before moving to 1500 to 1600. So clearly, short to medium term investor book out the profit and sit on sideline. Longer term investor look to average out if at all you get any decline in this particular counter, and 1 year plus kind of time frame the structure looks strong.
Okay. Taking the next one, this is from Nithin from Bangalore. He says, I have 1000 shares of Union Bank. My buying price was 175. I'm still looking for a 1 year time frame. What is your suggestion here?
Well, Sakshi, as mentioned, we are bullish on PSU banks as a whole for the year 2026. And as far as Union Bank is concerned, first of all, keep a trailing stop loss in your long position at 180 rupees. And the stock has the potential to deliver another 30 to 40% return on the upside. That's again 1 year plus time kind of a time frame. As far as levels are concerned, 225, 250 are the levels one can watch out for on the upside. But keep a trailing stop loss at 180 in order to protect your principal and profit.
Okay. Next, we have Mathilu James writing in, says, good afternoon, Sakshi. Good afternoon to you as well, Mr. James. He says, I'm from Hyderabad and I want to enter into Hindustan Aeronautics. Is this a good entry point? And what is your short-term view on the same? Well, these defense stocks have been time and again continued favorites of retail investors, especially when it comes to HAL and BL. We did have a question on BL also. What about HAL now?
Well, HCL specifically, this particular counter has a very weak structure. It has already given a breakdown, not able to sustain at the high level. In between, we did see a pullback in the previous week, but that got fizzled out. And Once again, we are witnessing resumption in the downtrend. So overall, looks weak from a short to medium term perspective. 3800, 3700 could be a good entry range if somebody wants to take a long position from positional perspective. But at current level, avoid taking any contra bet. The short to medium term structure appear weak.
Okay. Next we have this question from Suman who says, सर वोल्टास के मार्च फ्यूचर बाय किया है 1550 का, इसका टारगेट और स्टॉप लॉस क्या हो सकता है?
Well, Voltas is on the verge of a breakout. In fact, it did give a breakout, but that again got a fizzled out. So important level on the upside is 1550, 1550.
ये इसमें
1550 के
खरीदा है
ऊपर
इन्होंने, हाँ फ्यूचर बाय किया
राइट
1550 का.
एग्जैक्टली सो दैट्स द रेजिस्टेंस जोन अगर उसके ऊपर निकलता है तब यहाँ पे मेरे ख्याल से एक काफी बड़ा अपसाइड मूव बनेगा जो इस काउंटर को 1620 और 1680 तक ले जा सकता है बट फॉर दैट it should sustain above 1550 1560 level that's acting as a very strong barrier as of now hold your existing long position keep a trailing stop loss यहाँ पर जो stop loss अब निकल के आ रहा है वो है 1490 का 1490 के नीचे अगर फिसलता है तो एक बार के लिए रिव्यू करें या फिर एग्जिट कर लें बट अगर ब्रेक करता है ऊपर ऊपरी स्तर पर देन यू नो कीप टेलिंग योर स्टॉप लॉस एट द हाई लेवल एंड राइट द मोमेंटम.
ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है हमारे पास एक और व्यूअर का, नाम तो इन्होंने नहीं लिखा है लेकिन लिखा है, हाय साक्षी, मेरे पास 5 लॉट्स हैं निफ्टी के 2 मार्च एक्सपायरी के, 26,000 की कॉल ऑप्शन है, 74 पर लिया है, क्या इसे बीटीएसटी के लिए होल्ड करना चाहिए?
See, in this kind of a scenario where markets are extremely volatile, तो यहाँ पर in spite of opening on a gap up note, we are witnessing selling pressure continues. ऊपरी स्तरों पर टिकने में डिफिकल्टी हो रही है निफ्टी को, जहाँ पे रेजिस्टेंस निफ्टी फेस कर रहा है. 26,000 कॉल ऑप्शन फिलहाल 75 पर ट्रेड हो रहा है. आज ऊपरी स्तर पर 100 के आसपास के आए बने थे बट यस अगर 2 मार्च का अगली सप्ताह की एक्सपायरी का कॉल ऑप्शन है तो एक बार के लिए होल्ड करें. एक स्टॉप लॉस यहाँ पे सजेस्ट करूंगा जो निकल के आ रहा है 55 रुपए का. 55 रुपए का स्टॉप लॉस लगाएं. अगर ये ऊपरी स्तर पर 100 150 की जोन में जाता है तो वो एक अच्छी रेंज हो सकती है जहाँ पे मुनाफा बांध दे बट एट प्रेजेंट वन कैन स्टे पुट, अपनी लॉन्ग पोजिशन में बने रहें. एक स्टॉप लॉस यहाँ पर लगाएं और संभावनाएं ज्यादा है कि यहाँ पर एक फॉलो अप में ऊपरी स्तर पर हमें देखने को मिल सकता है.
ओके. आगे बढ़ते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की तरफ. सक्तनी है, ये लिखते हैं, नमस्ते, मेरे पास एडलवाइस है 125 पर मैंने लिया इंट्राडे के लिए. नीलेश सर ये बताइए कि क्या ये प्रॉफिटेबल होगा, एग्जिट करना चाहिए आज या कुछ दिनों के लिए रखूं?
देखिए इंट्राडे के पर्सपेक्टिव से तो बहुत डिफिकल्ट लग रहा है कि काउंटर यहाँ से बड़ा रिबाउंड दे दे बट यस पोजिशनली मेरे ख्याल से स्ट्रक्चर काफी बेटर प्लेस है. 118 के आसपास का काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग सपोर्ट है. जब तक वो सपोर्ट इंटैक्ट है उसके ऊपर टिकता है तब तक यहाँ पर संभावना है कि स्टॉक यहाँ से 135 से 140 तक जा सकता है. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कीप अ स्टॉप लॉस और थोड़ा सा पोजिशनल नजरिया रखें तो यहाँ पर बने रह सकते हैं.
ओके. नेक्स्ट हमारे पास क्वेश्चन आया है और ये है एक और हमारे व्यूअर हैं बसवराज, बैंगलोर से हैं ये, और इन्होंने एसोसिएट अल्कोहल एंड ब्रूरीज खरीदा है 989 पर. अब ये लिखते हैं कि आई हैव इनकर्ड अ लॉस ऑफ 13,000 रुपीज, ऑल्दो आई एम अ लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर, आई वांट टू नो वेदर आई शुड एवरेज और एग्जिट. ओके बसवराज, वील डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू आउट. एसोसिएट अल्कोहल एंड बेवरेजेस breweries, sorry, bought at 989, currently it's at 861, and we are seeing that the stock has fallen quite a bit from your own purchase level. Long term view here, is there any way that this stock can come back to the levels that he has already invested in, or will it take a lot of time?
Well, Sakshi, first of all, if you pull up last 2-year chart, you can clearly see the stock has constantly faced resistance. Specifically, in last 1 year, on in the month of January, we did see. In fact, in the month of February, we did see highs near about 1480, and double top pattern can be seen exactly at those levels. And since then, we have seen a constant selling pressure at the high level, and it is trading in a falling channel. Structure looks weak, still looks weak. And any pullback towards 950 might get sold into because that's a strong resistance zone as of now. So till the time it trades below 950, sell on rise kind of a structure I can see on the chart. But yes, if bought it purely from a longer term perspective, then one can stay invested in this particular counter, but keep a tight stop loss now that is coming somewhere around 780. If it breaks below 780, then exit from the long position. And if we see any pullback and breakout above 950, then there will be possibility that we may see a trend reversal in this counter.
Okay. Next, we have another viewer asking in a question on Dabur. Says Nilesh sir, is it the right time and price to enter for the medium term as far as Dabur is concerned?
As far as Dabur is concerned, in fact, not only Dabur, majority of the consumption space counter, HCL or be it Britannia, in fact, Colpal, all these stocks are going through some bit of a consolidation. Specifically, Dabur, if you see, it is stuck in a very tight range. 500 is acting as a very strong support, and 530, 535 is acting as a very strong resistance. So as of now, looks like range bound activity is likely to continue. But purely positional, from a positional perspective, I think these are the good levels. One can stay put with a long position. Fresh entry can also be taken, and we can expect a gradual uptick towards 550 to 560. So another 8 to 10% kind of uptick can be seen in the near term in this particular counter.
Fine. And let's take some questions from our WhatsApp number also that we are getting. Ravi from Chennai says, I want to know about KPR Mill. I bought this stock at 1117 and I need a short term view on this one. KPR Mill, short term view, bought at 1117.
Right, bought it at a very high price. In fact, 1100 is the exact resistance zone. So a breakout above 1100 is needed to witness any sort of a trend reversal. But as of now, looks sideways, and there could be possibility of a pullback towards 1000 to 1050 in the short run. And 890 is a very strong support now. So 890 should be the stop loss for the long position.
Okay, so Ravi, first up, in the short term, this is unlikely to go to the levels that you are looking forward to. There is a stiff resistance at 1100 odd levels. It may also pull back from the current levels as well. So keep all these things in mind and only then move forward. An advice has been definitely shared for you. Karthik says, I have purchased a lot of renewable energy stocks like Irida and NHPC. Irida I bought at 244, NHPC at 106. What is your opinion on both these stocks? Irida, we do know, has been having a long time, consolidation, underperformance that it has gone through. 126 is the current level. You bought at 244, which means almost near its top is what you purchased at. Of course, the stock came in and within a few days of its IPO getting listed, it definitely, gave a lot of wealth creation for investors. But soon after, it entered into a long time frame underperformance. NHPC bought at 106.7 as well. Any reversal in sight?
A reversal as of now is missing in both the stocks. IREDA, first of all, as you have rightly pointed out, we have seen long-term underperformance since a long time. It is constantly going down, and whatever pullback we are getting, that is getting sold into. So overall structure still appears weak, and on the lower side, 124, 120 kind of levels might be seen in the near term. It still looks weak as long as it trades below 140. If it breaks above 140, then there could be possibility of a trend reversal. But as of now, it's an avoid. And if somebody has already bought into, then keep a tight stop loss, which is right now coming at 123. Coming to NHPC, similar kind of a structure, looks weak on the chart, and we may see a follow up on the lower side towards 70. So, both the stocks, in fact, are looking pretty weak, and it's not advisable to stay invested for a longer term time frame. If at all you get any pullback, either review it again or exit on pullback and shift to the different sector.
Okay. Next, we'll take another question from Anita, who says, Sir, I want to know about Alok Industries. I bought this stock at 18 levels. 3,300 shares is what I have. Although I can hold for next 3 to 4 years, do you think there can be a target of about 60 to 70 that I can expect in the next 3 to 4 years on this share?
It's very difficult to say in next 3 4 years it will move to a 60 70, because what we can see based on the historical chart, the structure is looking weak, at least from a short to medium term perspective. and we may see further downtick towards 13.5 to 13 as well. So not advisable to stay that long. But if already bought, then keep a tight stop loss, which is coming right now at 13.5, and exit on pullback. That should be the strategy. But purely from a 3 to 4 year perspective, I think better keep levels on radar. That's 18 on the upside. If it breaks 18, then next level would be 22. Then probably it can move towards 30. But seems unlikely that we see the levels of 60 to 70.
Next, we have a question from Gagan Khemani. He says he's from Delhi and says, "Good afternoon, Sakshi and Nilesh sir. Good afternoon to you as well, Gagan." He says, "I want to know about Astral. I bought this share at 1608. What is your advice on this one? I have a short-term view on Astral at this point in time, but I can hold on in case it is advised as well."
Yes, absolutely. In fact, we are bullish on the space of pipes and fittings. So Astral pipe is looking positive. We have seen a very good base formation, but keep a tight stop loss as of now, which is coming around 1580, and we can expect a pullback move towards 1700 to 1725. So from a short to medium term perspective, structure looks positive.
Okay. Next, we have Raghunath, also from Chennai. He says, "I do have a lot of stocks in my portfolio, and I'm investing in all these stocks for my children's education purpose. But right now, I'm sitting on a 10 to 20% loss. I want to know if either of these stocks I should double down and start investing more, accumulating more at this stage in time as well." So I'm going to be reading out a list of some stocks here, Nilesh. Out of this, wherever you find more promising returns, and probably you could advise, averaging at the current levels, accumulating more, you could probably suggest so. So he has Nesco, he has Barmer Lorry, EIH Hotel, BBTC, and KCP. Any of these stocks that you believe that are looking good? Nesco, KCP, Barmer Lorry, EIH Hotel, and BBTC, Bombay Burma.
Well, Nesco is something out of all that is looking positive from a positional perspective. And we all know the kind of a land bank they hold in the Mumbai space specifically. So Nesco looks good and can be, added further if at all you see any dip towards 1050 to 1000 zone. So this particular counter appears on a positive side. Apart from that, counters like BBTC, which is looking slightly sideways to weak as of now, but it has a very strong support at 1600, so keep an eye on that. And KCP is another. KPC Sugar or KPC? Can you please repeat the name of the counter?
KCP Limited, that's right.
Right, which is trading at 163. So comparatively, from a positional perspective, this stock is also looking positive. Although we have seen a decent correction all the way from 260 to 160, but after this correction, the stock is approaching towards its important support of 152. So keep an eye on that important support of 152. If we see any reversal, then high possibility that stock may rebound towards 250 to 260 as well.
Okay. Next, we have this question from Piyush. This is the last question we'll take with you, Nilesh. Piyush says, "Hi Sakshi, I want to know technical levels and advice on Coal India. I bought this stock at 430, and I also bought NTPC and 360. On both these stocks, if you could advise him from the power energy space. Coal India bought at 430, NTPC at 360.
Well, we have a positive outlook in this particular space. First of all, just to give a disclaimer, we have already recommended NTPC to our client as well. So for 380 plus kind of target. So overall, both the stocks are looking positive. NTPC, we can expect the levels of 380 to 385 from a short-term perspective, and positionally 390 to 400 kind of levels can be seen in the NTPC as well. One can keep a stop loss below 360 and can be added on declines. Coming to the Coal India, although we are witnessing some bit of consolidation, but the broader structure appears on a positive side. One can keep a stop loss below 402 and initiate long position in the Coal India in this particular counter for a pullback move towards 440 to 460 in a short-term time frame.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has answered your question. Thank you so much, Nilesh, for patiently guiding all our viewers there with all their queries. I truly hope they're getting benefited from your expert guidance right here, finding the right strategies, being in the right set of stocks, and ensuring that they enter into good amount of profits going forward as well. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, Nilesh, for being with us.
Thank you
All
so much,
right,
Sakshi.
viewers, we'll get into the second segment now of Daily Calls and also invite another guest on the show, Osho Krishnan, the Senior Research Analyst for Technicals and Derivatives at Angel One. Is now joining in to share his views on the markets, the strategies he's following, his key recommendations on stocks, and of course to answer your questions as well. Meanwhile, the markets have been choppy. They've slipped to the low point of the day. We have given up some of the gains from morning trade, now just about 70 points higher at around 25,640 at this point. Hi Osho, welcome to you. Good afternoon. First up, your view on the markets. We were trending above 25,700, swiftly, let go of that level now below 25,650 also. What's the trend looking like at this point in time?
Very good afternoon, Sakshi. Firstly, thank you for inviting me at the show. Well, yes, no doubt we have started on a very positive note. There has been a very strong gap up opening, and in the initial trading hours, there has been a kind of a buying emergence also. But again, from the higher zone, the zone of 750, 25,750, 25,800, still persists to provide very strong supply in the benchmark index. So until we proceed above the zone of 25,800, one should try to lighten up their position on the higher end, because technically we are in the formation of making a lower high formation on the daily time frame chart. So until we again process the zone of 25,800 on a decisive manner, till that time better to remain cautious. No doubt today the sentiments were expected to be positive, but again the IT sectors and the volatility which is expected to rise in the recent period has pulled down the positive momentum and the sentiments for the day. So I'm expecting that on the lower end, again the view remains same, buy on the dips. On the lower end, 25,550 to 25,500 is the support levels. On the higher end, 25,750 to 800 is the resistance level. So one should try to buy the dips around the zone of 550, while 800 and 750 is the zone where one should try to lighten up their positions.
Okay, got that. Let's take some questions from our viewers then. Swapna Reddy has a question for you, Osho. Says, hi Sakshi, good afternoon. I want to know about Happy Forgings. I have this stock at 850. I'm holding from IPO levels. क्या प्रॉफिट बुक कर लें, ये आपसे पूछना चाहती हैं. फिलहाल अगर हम देखें हैप्पी फोर्जिंग्स का जो शेयर है 1330 पर चल रहा है, यानी कि जो इनका परचेज लेवल है उससे डेफिनेटली ये काफ़ी ऊपर आ चुका है. अराउंड 40% के आसपास का इनको प्रॉफिट तो हो रहा है, तो क्या अभी बुक कर लें इस प्रॉफिट को?
सी ओवरऑल बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग मोमेंटम में है काउंटर, एंड मुझे लगता है इस साल अगर हम देखें तो नियरली 15-16% का मूवमेंट दिया है, एंड मंथ में ही नियरली 25% का सर्ज हुआ है, जिसके वजह से एक ब्रेकआउट है काउंटर में. तो 1250 का ब्रेकआउट जोन है, अभी मोमेंटम परसिस्ट कर सकता है काउंटर में. तो रिकमेंडेड रहेगा कि आप ट्रेल करें अपने प्रॉफिट्स को, 1250 का स्टॉप लॉस मेंटेन करें, एंड जिस हिसाब का ब्रेकआउट है मुझे लगता है कि 1380 इसका पहला टारगेट रहेगा, फॉलोड बाय 1440-45 के अराउंड. तो 1440 आता है तब एक बार के लिए पार्शियल प्रॉफिट बुक करें, एंड अपने प्रॉफिट्स को हायर लेवल्स पे ट्रेल करने की राय बनेगी करंट लेवल्स.
ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है हमारे पास अंकुर का, और ये पूछते हैं, ओशो सर, अमंग ऑल द स्टॉक्स एट द करंट लेवल्स विच वन इज बेस्ट फॉर एडवाइस ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट? कैम्स, के फिनटेक, CDSL और NSDL. सो ये स्टॉक मार्केट्स, कैपिटल मार्केट्स रिलेटेड स्टॉक्स को देख रहे हैं. कैम्स, के फिनटेक या फिर CDSL या NSDL, कहाँ पर आपको सबसे बेहतर चार्ट्स या अपॉर्चुनिटी नजर आ रही है अभी ओशो?
सी ओवरऑल मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ पे कैपिटल मार्केट रिलेटेड काउंटर्स में अभी के लिए थोड़ा कंसोलिडेशन है, एंड शॉर्ट टर्म में मुझे लगता है कि नियर अबाउट थोड़ा कंसोलिडेशन और परसिस्ट कर सकता है, बट लॉन्गर टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव के लिए काफी पॉजिटिव टेरेन है. सो मुझे लगता है CDSL एंड कैम्स दोनों में ही लॉन्ग के बेट लिए जा सकते हैं. ऑल्दो थोड़ा पेशेंस ट्राई करेगा, अगेन 1-2 क्वार्टर में हो सकता है कि काउंटर सबड्यूड मोमेंटम में ही रहे, बट उसके बाद काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग मोमेंटम एक्सपेक्टेड रहेगा. तो आप कैपिटल मार्केट के गुड स्टॉक्स में बिल्कुल निवेशित कर सकते हैं या फ्रेश इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं करंट लेवल्स पे. लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव में सारे काउंटर्स में काफी अच्छे ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल देखने को मिले.
Fair point. I hope this has answered your question well. Taking the next one, we have Krishna from Hyderabad saying that I am holding Sona Comstar. अब ये सोना कोयो हो गया है. 500 के लेवल्स पर उन्होंने खरीदा है इस शेयर को। ये पूछना चाहते हैं आपसे, प्रॉफिट को बुक करें या अभी भी होल्ड करके चलें? शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए टेक्निकल चार्ट्स क्या सजेस्ट कर रहे हैं?
सोना कॉमस्टार एज इन सोना बीएलडब्ल्यू
जी
हाँ, सोना बीएलडब्ल्यू इज लुकिंग वेरी पॉजिटिव। मुझे लगता है जिस हिसाब का इसमें ब्रेकआउट आया 520 के ऊपर, काउंटर काफी स्ट्रांगली मूव कर सकता है। बहुत दिनों के बाद अपने लॉन्ग टर्म मूविंग एवरेज के ऊपर ब्रेकआउट आया है, तो इमीडिएट पर्सपेक्टिव पे 590 से 600 का टारगेट है। उसे भी अगर ब्रेक थ्रू करता है तो पोजिशनली और स्ट्रांग हो सकता है काउंटर। बट अभी शॉर्ट टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव के लिए 590 600 के टारगेट्स के लिए काउंटर होल्ड करें, एंड वहां पहुंचते हैं तो वापस से रिव्यू करें कि वहां पे और पोटेंशियल है ऊपर मूव करने के लिए, या फिर एक बार के लिए अपने प्रॉफिट्स बुक करें।
ठीक है। नेक्स्ट हमारे पास क्वेश्चन आया है श्रीकांत का बैंगलोर से। ये आपसे मेटल स्टॉक्स के बारे में एक ओवरव्यू जानना चाहते हैं और लिखते हैं, विल देयर बी अ रीबाउंड अगेन ऑन स्टॉक्स लाइक हिंदुस्तान कॉपर, हिंडाल्को, वेदांता? व्हाट इज योर शॉर्ट टर्म व्यू ऑन द मेटल स्टॉक्स?
I'm expecting some kind of volatility in the whole metal space because global market concerns and even the commodity market is being very volatile, and with the kind of momentum that we have seen in the past 2 to 3 months, there might be a possibility of profit booking. So at present levels, if someone is already holding, then it will be advisable to keep holding the position with trailing stop losses at the higher levels. But from a future perspective, if someone wants to have a fresh investment, then better to wait for some time. If there will be any kind of decent correction, then only try to buy these stocks.
Okay. Next we have Satyan writing in. He says, Osho sir, what is the best time and price to add stocks like Morpin Laboratories and Mankind Pharma? If I have a medium term time frame, what kind of returns can I expect?
See, firstly, for Morpan Labs, I expect that the counter have started a kind of a reversal movement from current levels, but again it will be very early to say because the counter has been into a very strong corrective phase and it is still hovering below the long term moving average. But from a shorter term duration, I'm expecting a pullback in the counter towards the zone of 50-52 kind of a zone. So that is a very crucial hurdle for the counter. If there will be any kind of breakout above 52, then one can definitely go long in the counter, and from there onwards we can expect a target of nearly 74 to 78 from a short to medium term perspective. So this counter is looking positive. Being an aggressive investor, one can even try to accumulate at current levels, or better to wait for 52 kind of a zone. If it breaches 50-52, then better to start accumulating the counter.
Okay. Next we have a question from one of our viewers, and this is Momita from Kolkata. Says, happy Monday to you, Osho and Sakshi. Thank you so much, Momita, for writing in. Yeah, she says, I want Osho sir's opinion on two stocks. I got Geo Finance and soon after its IPO, I'm still sitting on a 3% loss. This is my long-term holding. I'm hoping for multi-bagger returns, but have I gone wrong with my strategy? Also wants to know, is it a good time to add BSC, or average price currently is 2350, to continue to add here? Would you advise the same? तो दो stocks हैं इनके, Geo Finance where she expects multi-bagger returns in the long term but is not sure because of the kind of non-movement or the underperformance that the stock has been displaying, and on BSC she wants to further add more stocks. Is it advisable?
Firstly, for Geofinance, yes, no doubt the counter has not been performing well in the recent period. There has been a kind of a correction zone near the zone of 300, 320 kind of a levels. But overall, from a longer term duration, because in the last year, the market has not done very great for the investors. So I expect that from a longer term perspective, Geofinance can definitely do very positive and very good returns can be seen in the counter. But on levels front, I have to say that the counter is near about a kind of consolidation zone. So from here onwards, the downside seems very limited. 240, 235 is the downside that one can expect in the counter. If it goes till that levels, one can even add positions, because from a short-term perspective, a pullback can be seen. 290 to 300 is the target for short-term, and if it breaches the zone of 300, then from there onwards, it can again re-enter into a bullish trajectory. So one can definitely stay invested from short-term or even from longer-term perspective in Geofinance. Now coming to BSC, then this counter has seen a very strong movement from across the period of a longer duration, but in the near term period there is some kind of profit booking or correction that can be seen in the counter. So at current levels, it won't be advisable to accumulate the counter. Better to wait for some more consolidation or some further dip or correction towards the zone of 2480, 2450 kind of a zone. And if it happens, then try to accumulate BSCI.
ओके, नेक्स्ट हमारे पास जो क्वेश्चन आया है ये है तपन का कोलकाता से। ये CESE के ऊपर एक लॉन्ग टर्म व्यू आपसे जानना चाह रहे हैं। CESE पर 225 शेयर्स हैं, 170 पर इनके पास CESE।
और CESE ओवरऑल अगर देखें तो काउंटर में डिसेंट मूवमेंट था, बट रिसेंटली अगर हम इस साल देखें तो एक करेक्शन जोन में एंटर करते हुए दिखाई दिया है। एंड जिस हिसाब का टेक्निकल स्ट्रक्चर है 140 145 काफी क्रूशियल सपोर्ट लेवल्स है काउंटर के लिए। अगर इसके नीचे जाता है तो करेक्शन और अग्रवेट हो सकता है। सो मेरा मानने तो 144 142 के रेंज में स्टॉप लॉस मेंटेन करें काउंटर में। अगर इसके नीचे जाता है तो एक टाइम के लिए एग्जिट कर लें। एंड इन केस काउंटर में थोड़ा पॉजिटिव ट्रैक्शन आता है, 165 170 के आसपास दिखता है, तब वहां पे पोजीशन ऐड करने की राय बनेगी। करंट लेवल्स पे 142 के स्टॉप लॉस से काउंटर को होल्ड करें। इन केस अगर बाउंस आता है तब हायर लेवल्स पे बाय करें।
ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है कल्पेश पटेल का। ये सूरत से हैं, आपसे यूपीएल के ऊपर पूछना चाह रहे हैं। 750 शेयर्स हैं, 750 पर लिया हुआ है इन्होंने और एक टारगेट एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं 816 का। क्या ये पॉसिबल है?
और यूपीएल में देखें तो आज के दिन ही काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग करेक्शन आया एंड वॉल्यूम बेस्ड करेक्शन है, जिसके वजह से इसका जो इमीडिएट टर्म ट्रेंड है वो थोड़ा सा ब्लीक होते हुए दिखाई दे रहा है, कमजोर होते हुए दिखाई दे रहा है। तो मुझे लगता है अगर शॉर्ट टर्म में यहाँ से फॉलो अप सेल ऑफ कंटिन्यू होता है तो लोअर एंड पे 620 600 तक के टारगेट शॉर्ट टर्म में देखने को मिल रहे हैं। तो थोड़ा सा काउंटर में अभी वोलेटिलिटी एक्सपेक्टेड हो सकती है, बट करंट लेवल्स पे थोड़ा कॉशन मेंटेन करें। करंट लेवल्स पे एग्जिट करने की राय तो बिल्कुल नहीं बनेगी, बिकॉज डाउनसाइड अभी भी दिखाई दे रहा है बट लिमिटेड है। हार्डली 20-30 पॉइंट्स का डाउनसाइड यहाँ से देखने को मिल सकता है। बट अगर थोड़ा पुल बैक आता है तो 710 720 के कंफर्ट जोन में काउंटर एंटर कर सकता है। तो शॉर्ट टर्म में ट्रेंड इसका नेगेटिव टू साइडवेज है। लॉन्गर टर्म ड्यूरेशन में हमें वापस से रिव्यू करना होगा कि ये जब 720 के ऊपर सस्टेनेंस दिखाता है तब ओवरऑल क्या मार्केट व्यू बनता है। बट करंट लेवल्स पे एग्जिट ना करें, शॉर्ट टर्म में थोड़ा पेन रहेगा, बट करंट लेवल्स पे एग्जिट करने की राय नहीं।
ओके, यूपीएल के शेयर्स में आज जो भारी गिरावट देखने को मिली है उसके पीछे का कारण ये है कि कंपनी ने रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग का जो अनाउंसमेंट किया है, रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन प्लान, जिसमें लेवरेज और डाइल्यूशन को लेकर कुछ कंसर्न्स इमर्ज हुए हैं और नुवामा की तरफ से एक डाउनग्रेड भी आया है इस अनाउंसमेंट के बाद। तो इस वजह से आपको यहाँ पर प्रेशर भी देखने को मिल रहा है। आगे बढ़ते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की तरफ। दिस क्वेश्चन इज अगेन from one of our viewers, Sai from Hyderabad. He says, I want to know, sir, is Adani Enterprises still good to add more stocks? I bought at 3,000. What is your outlook on this?
For Adani Enterprise, I expect the price momentum to be in a range. On the higher end, 2450 is the resistance level. On the lower end, 2000 is a very strong support zone. So overall, the technical structure seems to be consolidating. So until we witness a decisive breakthrough above 2450, till that time better not to accumulate at current levels. In future, if there will be any kind of dip towards 2000, then try to accumulate on the higher end 2450. Try to lighten up positions. If there will be any kind of breakout above 2450, then from there onwards we can see some kind of a strong momentum coming back in the counter. But overall it is into a strong consolidation. Same, buy on dip and sell on rise is the approach that you can adopt in this system.
Okay, next we have this question from Rahul Yadav from Indore, and he wants to know from you about Action Construction Equipment. क्या अभी भी इसमें fresh entry करनी चाहिए या नहीं? क्या ये advice रहेगी, Osho?
The current levels पे counter has not seen any kind of pullback. There has been no respite from the selling pressure that is being seen in the counter. So at current levels, it is not advisable to catch the falling knife. Better to wait for a consolidation or a kind of a congestion in the counter at lower levels. If it happens, then one can look for buying opportunity. At current levels, there is no sign of revival or pullback. So better to avoid the counter.
Better to avoid the counter. Okay, we have Kalpesh Kacharia from Mumbai saying that, sir, I have short sold in March expiry State Bank of India shares at 1230 for a target price of 1150. Would you advise holding on to my position? So SBI in fact is on course to have the best monthly performance. It's been scaling newer highs, and it takes a lot of courage to short a stock like that that has been only going to record high levels. What would you advise here, Osho?
See, it is a very challenging scenario because looking at the
Yeah.
technical developments, the counter has already been into a overbought terrain. So no doubt one can expect a kind of a profit booking. But even in such challenging scenario, the PSU banks are performing and outperforming the markets. So it would not have been advisable to short SBI at current levels. But if already the position has been taken, so it will be advisable to have a strict stop loss of 1245. If it breaches 1245, then better to exit the counter at those levels. But there might be a cool off or profit booking that might be in the coming future that is on the cards. So with that expectation, one can stay hold with the short position, although I won't advise to go short in the counter, but as already has been shorted, so better to hold with a stop loss of 1240.
Okay, next we have Avdish Thakur asking on our YouTube channel, ONGC, sir, would you advise a fresh entry for medium term?
Yes, from medium term perspective, definitely a strong buy in the counter. The counter has given a 1 year consolidation period breakout, which was near about the zone of 250, 255 odd levels. And with the kind of consolidation breakout, the higher target comes around the zone of 295. So from medium term perspective, it is expected that counter can see some kind of a strong momentum. Although if there will be any kind of profit booking which might drag the counter again towards 260 or 50 odd levels, it will be advisable to accumulate more position in ONGC. 295 is the immediate target that one can expect.
Okay, got that. Let's take one more question from our YouTube viewers. This is Ashish, and he wants to know about PB Fintech. He has the stock at 1690. Another 6 months view. What would you say?
PB Fintech has seen very strong correction from the zone of nearly 1900 and now has plunged below the 200-day moving average, and even the technical parameters have turned oversold. So at current levels, one can definitely accumulate the counter, but in a staggered manner. I expect that some pullback or relief rally can be seen in the counter. On immediate term basis, 1700, 1750 is the first target, and if it breaches 1750, then from there onwards the counter can see 1900 levels again. So at current levels, one may accumulate the counter. On the lower end, if it is a short-term investment perspective, then keep a stop loss of nearly 1420 and try to accumulate the counter.
Okay, we'll take only that many questions from our viewers, but some pickup again happening, Osho, from the markets end. We are again seeing the markets back 100 points higher at 25,674. Any fresh stocks coming onto your radar?
Many counters are looking positive to me. The first one is Adani Ports. Adani Ports is looking quite bullish, and I'm expecting a kind of a breakout from here onwards. So one can look for opportunity in Adani Ports. Near about 1560 is the first breakout zone. So once it breaches 1560, then even the conviction on the higher end will start increasing, or most of it. So I expect that one can even accumulate the counter at current levels. 1500 will be the advisable stop loss, and on the higher end, 1600, 1640 is the target that one can expect in this counter. The other counter which is looking positive to me is Kolpal. In the last week, we have seen very strong momentum in the counter. The counter have surged nearly 3% and given a consolidation breakout. So I expect that in the coming period, the counter has a potential to retest the zone of nearly 2260, 2280. So one can try to accumulate this counter with a stop loss of 2160.
Okay, I hope this has also answered your question, viewers, of the key stocks that top analysts are betting big on right now. Thank you so much, Osho. Good to have you as always to advise all our viewers, give us a strategy on the markets and finding out key opportunities as well. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being with us. Alright viewers, we'll now wrap it up on that note as far as daily calls is concerned. Let's find out what happens in the last 2.5 hours of trade. There's some pickup from the low point, and let's hope that this buying continues in the latter half as well. Stay tuned as we continue to cover market move for you throughout the course of the session today. Stay tuned.
move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow.